or do we want to? All right, we'll go ahead and begin since it's 9:06. Well, we will begin this morning's meeting. Welcome to the Franklin County Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, June 8th, 2021. If everyone would please remember that this is a public meeting and it's being recorded. So we kindly ask that you maintain the same level of decorum as if we were in a meeting in person. And finally, for those of you that are calling in, if you would please remember to mute your phone, and you can dial *6 to unmute your phone at the appropriate time. All right, we will begin this morning's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Tyler Lee.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
to the
republic for which it stands,
one nation under God,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioner. All right. I will need a motion for the approval of the minutes of the June 1, 2021 general session, the June 3rd, 2021 briefing session, and the June 2nd, 2021 administrative briefing.
I move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting Commissioner Tyler Lee.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners. The minutes have been approved.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, let's move to the Clerk of Courts.
Actually, Commissioner, if I may, I'd like to recognize the prosecutor actually had asked for a point of privilege before we went on camera.
Great. Prosecutor Hayek.
I am asking for a point of privilege so I can talk to you folks. As you all know, when I started the serving in the office on January 4th of this year, I was more than a little distressed at the makeup of the office and the lack of balance as far as gender and race and things of that nature. So I began the efforts to try and balance it out. And one of those efforts has been to hire a first assistant, and I've now hired David Ingram as a first assistant prosecuting attorney, special units. He has extensive litigation experience. He's been a prosecutor before, and I think he will have a lot to offer for here. So David is, as you will see him eventually, is someone who balances out some of the things we want to have in this office. Again, David's worked both in public and private sector. And with that, I'll just say that I wanted you to be able to meet David Ingram, who I think is probably online someplace here, and that he's a real asset to the prosecutor's office already.
And if I may ask for a privilege to speak, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Tyler Lee. I want to say that I have known David for quite some time. And when David was working in the City of Columbus Prosecutor's Office, I have this habit of putting names in a little notebook that I keep of bright stars that I want to keep track of. So if I ever need to call upon them, and David was first and foremost on that list. And when I started here, David was one of the first people I reached out to, and I told him I'm going to bring him some way, somehow to this office. And he kind of smiled at me and said, "Oh yeah, I'm so happy where I'm at, Janine." And you know, what can I say? Here he is, and I am so pleased to have David to be a partner in this office, part of our mission, and to call him my friend.
Great. Well, welcome, David. Glad to know that you're part of the team. Glad to know that you're part of Team Franklin County. I've heard many great things about you through this process. I've had conversations with both Janine and former judge or judge. Oh man, why can't I remember her name? It escapes me at the moment. Judge
Grubb.
Yes, Grubb. Judge Grubb. I thank you, Mr. Prosecutor Tyak, and with Ed Leonard. And so you are Highly recommended, and we're glad that you're on board.
Glad to be on board, sir. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Well, if there's no further comments, welcome, and we're glad to have you, and we will move on with the program.
Let you do your work.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's move to the Clerk of Courts.
Thank you, Commissioners. Mr. Prosecutor, good to see you. Under the Clerk of Courts, Resolution number 43421, lease renewal between Franklin County Clerk of Courts Auto Title Division and Ohio Department of Public Safety, Bureau of Motor Vehicles for 2,860 square feet of office space at 1583 Alum Creek Drive at a rate of $1 per annum.
Morning, Commissioners. Sean Reeder, Fiscal Officer for the Clerk's Office. Today's resolution is a biennial lease renewal with the Ohio Department of Public Safety's Bureau of Motor Vehicles. The existing lease was approved in 2012 under Resolution 244-12. This renewal will continue the lease through June 30th, 2023 at that annual cost of $1. All terms and conditions of the original lease will remain intact. The Clerk's Office respectfully requests approval of Resolution 434-21.
I move approval of the resolution. My apologies.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 43421 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. And now we will move to, as my screen went blank, we will move to the engineer.
Thank you. Resolution number 43521, final hearing for establishing, altering, and widening of Hilliard and Rome Road, County Road number 3, Beacon Hill Road, and Hillbrook Drive, Prairie Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Good morning, Commissioners, administration, staff, and constituents. My name is Cornell Robertson, Franklin County Engineer and Franklin County Drainage Engineer. Commissioners, this resolution is for the intersection improvement in the west part of the county in Prairie Township at the intersection of Hilliard and Rome Road, Beacon Hill Road, and Hillbrook Drive. This project is an intersection safety improvement to build a new traffic signal. With this resolution, I am asking you to approve and sign the survey plat so we can begin the right-of-way acquisition process. If not already, I will see that the plat is delivered to Clerk Hindenlang for you all to sign. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
Move approval of resolution 43621.
Commissioner, I'm sorry, we're at 435. I apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry, got ahead of myself. 430, I move approval of 43521.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 43521 has been adopted. Excuse me, Commissioners. Resolution number 43621. Petition filed for vacation of a portion of Rary Road, unimproved, Madison Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
This right-of-way vacation is in the southeast part of the county in Madison Township for a portion of unimproved Rary Road, east of Pontius Road, west of Braun Road, and south of Hayes Road. This resolution is the first in a series of 3 for the vacation process. Madison Township of Trustees filed the petition. We will determine if the vacation is warranted as we move forward with the process. This resolution also fixes June 29th at 11 a.m. for the viewing and July 13th at 9 a.m. as the final hearing. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
There are no questions. I move approval of resolution 43621.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 43621 has been adopted. Resolution number 43721, report second of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Elliott Road and Hayden Run Road Drainage Improvement Project, Washington Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $82,183.
This drainage improvement is in the northwest part of the county in Washington Township, along Elliott Road and along Hayden Run Road. The project will reconstruct Joseph Carr Ditch by repairing and replacing drainage tile, some of which is 100 years old. It will also upgrade roadway drainage with regraded roadside ditches and new roadway drainage crossings. This resolution is the second report for right-of-way acquisition and includes 11 properties. The appraisals were based on fair market value, and we coordinated with the prosecutor's office. I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
There are no questions or comments. I move approval of resolution 43721.
Second,
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
yes,
Commissioner Boyce.
yes,
Resolution number 43721 has been adopted. Resolution number 43821, Report 6th of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Morris Road at Babbitt Road Improvement Project, Plain Township and Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $16,049.
Commissioners, this capital improvement project is in the northeast part of the county on the line between Jefferson Township and Plain Township at the intersection of Morris Road and Babbitt Road, where we plan to build a single lane roundabout in 2022, utilizing ODOT safety funds and funds from Ohio Public Works Commission. This resolution is the 6th report for right-of-way acquisition and includes 1 property. The appraisal was based on fair market value, and we coordinated with the prosecutor's office. I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no questions or comments, I move approval of resolution number 43821.
second,
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
yes,
Commissioner Boyce.
yes.
Resolution number 43821 has been adopted.
Great, thank
Thank
you.
you all very much. I'll remain on the line for the hearing later on the agenda. Thank you.
Thanks, Engineer. Next, Sheriff.
Resolution number 43921. Resolution authorizing a general fund supplemental appropriation related to a funding allocation from the Ohio Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. Is Dave or Albert on the line this morning? Commissioners, I'm not seeing them. As we work to find someone from the sheriff's office, I kindly ask to just move forward.
Sure. Okay. Next, we have Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 44021, resolution authorizing an economic development grant agreement with the Columbus Franklin County Finance Authority to continue the administration of the Energy Works Columbus Region Energy Loan Fund in the amount of $1 million.
Morning, Commissioners. On behalf of the EDP team, I'm Director Jim Schimmer. I'm going to take you through this first resolution. Commissioners, back in 2015, through an agreement that you passed with the Columbus Franklin Finance Authority, we established a Energy Works loan program. Specifically, the purpose of that loan program is to provide loans for and originated by the CFFA to finance energy efficiency and advanced energy projects within Franklin County. This resolution would authorize the 6th agreement under that program with the CFFA to continue the administration of the loan program. Commissioners, under this program, the CFFA will be working to market the loan fund and then identifying, underwriting, and financing energy projects. The benefit of the loan fund, number 1, it's a low-cost, low-term fixed financing rate. Number 2, immediate positive cash flow is the energy cost savings service the debt. Number 3 is the potential for 100% financing of the project. And then number 4 is capital investments without any net out-of-pocket expenses. And then finally, to make certain that the program is being run properly, the provision of technical assistance throughout the energy project process. The agreement period for this particular loan program runs from January 1st, 2021 through December 31st of 2021. The SmartWorks program was a key component of why we started Energy Works. We were trying to be pushing the envelope a little bit for private sector companies, commercial companies to upgrade their facilities as it related to energy. We felt like that is a solid way to participate in economic development. A more efficient building is going to lead to more efficient cost associated with running that business. And we have had a great partner, a trusted partner in the CFFA for this program. I know Jean Carter Ryan is on the call this morning, and just wanted to ask if she could present just a few of the outcomes that we've seen under this program.
Thanks, Jim. Good morning, commissioners. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you this morning and for your continued investment into this program. We have received a total of $7 million so far from you for the program. We have basically been able to use our own bond fund to be able to recapitalize that program to a tune of $14 million. We've financed over 20 projects with those loan funds. In conjunction with our own bond program that does energy efficiency, we've done over $33 million worth of energy efficiency financing. Every year, Franklin County property owners save about $1.6 million in energy costs. So that's very significant to Jim's point. And so we're also seeing some real interesting investments in renewable energy technologies. We're hoping to see more of that going into the future. It's certainly an area that we're trying to actively market to. So we see more of renewables as well as just your typical energy efficiency. We've invested in projects all over Franklin County. I think 7 of our communities have projects that have been funded with Energy Works money. So again, I think it's a real successful program and we appreciate the continued investment. Happy to answer questions.
With that, commissioners, I'll leave that open for any questions you might have about the program.
Any questions or comments?
No.
Thank you, Jean, for being with us this morning. Seeing none.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Seeing none, I move approval of resolution 44021.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Abstain.
Resolution number 44021 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention.
Thank you very much.
Resolution number 44121, resolution authorizing the assignment and assumption agreement of an amended community reinvestment area agreement between Franklin County DRCS 1566 LLC and Rickenbacker Internet Industrial LLC.
Good morning, commissioners. Josh Roth, Senior Program Coordinator, Franklin County Economic Development and Planning. This resolution concerns an industrial development project in our Canal Voss Community Reinvestment Area. This is the area that is to the west of Rickenbacker, known as the Rail Campus. In 2006, and then again updated in 2018, the Board of Commissioners authorized a community reinvestment area agreement with the Columbus Regional Airport Authority. And this was for the development of industrial facilities in the Rail Campus, allowing for 15-year, 100% real property tax exemptions. And so specifically, this resolution would authorize the assignment and assumption of the original CRA agreement between the county DRCS 1566 LLC, which is a subsidiary of the contracted developer of the airport authority for the rail campus, and then would pass along the obligations and the rights to Rickenbacker Industrial LLC, which is an entity that is seeking to purchase this particular facility. This is the second building that has been constructed down at the rail campus. And this particular building, it's 363,000 square feet. Second building, again, developed in the rail campus, and pending any questions, we would ask for your approval.
Thank you. If there are no questions or comments, I move approval of resolution number 44121.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 44121 has been adopted. Resolution number 44221, review of petition to annex 0.61 acres more or less from Franklin Township to the city of Columbus, case number ANX-14-21.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jenny Snap, Assistant Director, Economic Development and Planning. This resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 0.61 acres from Franklin Township to the city of Columbus. The area to be annexed includes property located at 1000 Georgesville Road. That's east of Georgesville Road, south of Climb Road, west of Demarest Road, and north of Interstate 270. Petition was filed by agent and attorney Theodore Saker of Saker Law Offices, who is in attendance should you have any questions, on behalf of the owner, United Urgent Care LLC. 73% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with the city of Columbus, and the city passed ordinance number 1105-2021 on May 10th, 2021, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved in a statement regarding incompatible land uses and the zoning buffer. The petition meets all statutory requirements outlined in section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'm sorry. Did you have one, Commissioner O'Grady?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me put the motion on the floor. I thought you had a question.
Oh,
I move
no.
approval
Sorry.
of resolution 44221.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 44221 has been adopted.
Thank you,
Res-
Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Resolution number 44321, review of petition to annex 48.94 acres more or less from Madison Township to the city of Groveport, case number ANX-16-21.
Commissioners, this resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 48.94 acres from Madison Township to the city of Groveport. The area to be annexed includes property located at Pontius Road, that's 2 parcels, that's south of Hayes Road and east of Pontius Road. Petition was filed by agent and attorney David Robinson of the Montrose Group LLC, who is in attendance should you have any questions, on behalf of the owners, Sunshine and Smooch LLC and JCD Pickaway Farm LLC. 33% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with the city of Groveport, and the city passed resolution number 2021-001 on May 25th, 2021, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved in a statement regarding incompatible land uses and the zoning buffer. The petition meets all statutory requirements and outlined in section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
Seeing no questions or comments, I move approval of resolution 44321.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 44321 has been adopted. Resolution number 44421, resolution to adjust the boundaries of the city of Columbus and the city of Hilliard, case number ANX-19-21.
This resolution is to consider a boundary adjustment of 0.289 acres from the city of Columbus to the city of Hilliard. The petition was filed by both the city of Columbus and the city of Hilliard to adjust the 2.89 acres of public right-of-way of Frizzell Road from south of Collier Hill Drive to Franks Park. This resolution will adjust the boundaries between the two jurisdictions in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 709.37. The city of Columbus passed ordinance number 0775-2021 on April 19th, 2021, agreeing to transfer the 0.289 acres to the city of Hilliard. The city of Hilliard passed ordinance number 21-11 on April 12th, 2021, accepting the transfer of land from the city of Columbus. Both ordinances were certified by the Franklin County Commissioners for further proceedings in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 709.37. Petitioning municipalities have met all statutory requirements outlined in section 709.37 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no questions or comments, I move approval of resolution number 44421.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 44421 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Resolution number 44521, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Nadia S. Bennett at 2106 Myrtle Avenue, Columbus, Ohio 43211.
Good morning, Commissioners. Emily Hillier, Senior Program Coordinator, Economic Development and Planning. This property owner received a home loan for $15,000 from Franklin County. The requirements of the loan have been satisfied. The property taxes are paid and current, and I would respectfully ask that the Commissioner sign this discharge of mortgage instrument on this property.
There are no questions or comments. I move approval of resolution number 44521.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 44521 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Fleet,
Thank
thank you.
Commissioners. Fantastic.
Mhm. Fleet management.
Resolution number 44621, resolution authorizing disposition of personal property, including motor vehicles and equipment that are no longer needed for public use, are obsolete, or are unfit for the use it was acquired, and authorizing the Director of Fleet Management to dispose of said items by transferring title to other governmental agencies in Ohio by internet auction or selling as salvage.
Good morning, Commissioners. Charlotte Ashcraft, Director of Fleet Management. This resolution is requesting authorization to dispose of 18 vehicles and 7 pieces of equipment. Fleet Management is asking permission to dispose of these vehicles either through donation to another governmental entity, selling them online, or proper salvage disposal. Our transfer program began in 2009, and we have helped so many other smaller governmental agencies. So many of the smaller agencies have limited funds for vehicles, and our donation program is a lifeline for many of them. By transferring to another agency, we do not incur the cost to remove all of the equipment and the decals, which that cost can outweigh the amount we can get through selling the vehicle at auction. Those that are wrecked will be disposed of through salvage due to the damage, and others will be sold through govdeals.com. Pending any questions, I respectfully request passage of this resolution.
If there are no questions or comments, I move approval of resolution number 44621.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 44621 has been adopted.
Thank you. Jobs and Family Services.
Resolution number 44721, resolution approving a subaward agreement with Derek L. Owens Group for audit court diversion alternative services in the amount of $49,962.50.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Assistant Director. The Owens Group services include education and awareness, intervention, workforce readiness training, and referrals for treatment and/or services. Enrollment in these services assists low-level offenders to avoid incarceration. Currently, the Owens Group works with residents referred by attorneys from the cities of Reynoldsburg and Whitehall, and close to 600 Franklin County residents involved with the mayor's courts have been served. Through this subaward, the Owens Group will assist approximately 35 TANF-eligible individuals facing criminal and traffic issues with mayor's court systems. This agreement will support an existing contract the Owens Group has with the Office of Justice Policy and Programs, allowing us to support the cost for TANF-eligible residents. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
There are no
Commissioners,
questions.
this is Joy Bivens, Deputy County Administrator. I'm sorry, can I say a few words really quick?
Please. Yes.
Vivian, do you have the recidivism numbers from the Owens Group since they've started this? Since they
I I don't have those right in front of me, Joy, today, but I can certainly make that available to the commissioners at a later time.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just say them for you. Since they've started this program through the mayor's court throughout Franklin County, and this is the municipalities outside of Columbus proper, commissioners, since you've established this partnership, their recidivism rate has been phenomenal. I believe they've worked with over 1,000 people or 2,000 people, and the recidivism rate has been 0, which is excellent.
Absolutely. Thank you for that addition.
Thank you, Joy.
If there are no questions or comments, I move approval of resolution number 44721.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 44721 has been adopted. Resolution number 44821, resolution approving a subaward agreement with Partners Achieving Community Transformation to support the Equity Now Coalition efforts in the amount of $153,593.94.
Commissioners, the Equity Now Coalition was created last year with the goal of designing and implementing a sustained equitable movement to dismantle and redress the structural racism to improve the quality of life for Black residents in Franklin County. With a focus on root cause analysis, the Equity Now Coalition will collect and synthesize data centered on the lived experiences of Black people in Franklin County and design and implement policy and investment practices that move our community from racial disparities to equitable outcomes. The coalition is comprised of partners from more than 200 organizations and focuses on the social determinants of health. The funding will primarily support the creation of a new data management platform and dashboard, which will be used to produce equity scorecards for nonprofits, public and private organizations. It will also support sharing of best practices and community stakeholder engagement. The scope of the work seeks to align with the Rise Together Blueprint and the Franklin County Public Health Declaration of Racism as a Public Health Emergency. It will also seek to be a data partner for the Rise Together Innovation Center. This one-year seed funding agreement will be funded with general revenue funds. And Deputy County Administrator Bivens, if you wanted to have comments on this one.
Commissioners, if you remember when COVID hit, President Hightower convened all of the Black leaders from across Franklin County so that we could disseminate information and get resources to the residents. As this group has continued to meet, it has turned into an opportunity under President Hightower and as well as Christy Angel's vision to establish something so that we can make more educated and concentrated decisions as it relates to data when we're funding opportunities, and then also looking at systems and measuring, are we really being equitable as far as our hiring practices and our policies and procedures? We see this as an opportunity. We see this organization as an opportunity to partner with the Innovation Center. So we strongly approve this resolution.
Thank you. Pending any questions, we request your approval.
O'Grady.
Yeah, make a motion.
Oh, sorry. If there are no comments or questions, I will gladly move approval of resolution 44821.
I'll strongly second that.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee.
Abstain.
Resolution number 44821 has been adopted with Commissioner Tyler Lee's noted abstention. Resolution number 44921, resolution authorizing the Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services Director to enter into an agreement with United Way of Central Ohio for use of the CI Impact Grant Management Platform.
Thank you. The United Way will work with FCDJFS to administer various requests for proposal using the EC Impact Grant Management Platform. The services will include the creation of a required procurement forms for our agency and the procedures in the platform, granting access to bidders and proposal evaluation processes. The amount of the proposal agreement is $24,000 for the time period of June 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2022. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
There are no comments or questions. I'll move approval of resolution 44921.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee.
I abstain.
Resolution number 44921 has been adopted with Commissioner Tyler Lee's noted abstention. Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone have a wonderful Tuesday.
Thank you, you too. Next, public facilities management.
Resolution number 45021. Resolution authorizing the county administrator to execute a modification to the contract agreement with Farber Corporation to perform additional plumbing activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Correction Center in the amount of the contract not to exceed $1,564,750, and authorizing the county administrator to approve and execute additional minor modifications to the contract agreement for a revised amount of $13,225,626.
Morning, Commissioners. Darla Reardon, Director of Public Facilities Management. Also joining me today is COO Vivian Alexander. The first few resolutions for your consideration today are associated with the construction of the new Franklin County Correction Center. The Correction Center construction project has an established small and emerging business enterprise SEBE aspirational goal of 12%. This project remains on track to exceed the aspirational goal with an SEBE commitment of 27.81%, approximately $77.8 million as of April 30th of this year. In February of 2018, Farber Corporation was awarded a contract agreement to perform plumbing activities associated with the construction of the new Franklin County Correction Center. This resolution authorizes a modification to the contract agreement with Farber Corporation, a local economically disadvantaged enterprise, to provide additional plumbing activities, including work associated with various design documents issued by DLZ Architecture, Inc., additional HVAC work for continuation phase 2A, and an owner-directed allowance. Any unused funds will be returned to the county. Pending any questions, PFM respectfully requests your approval of this contract modification with Farber Corporation.
If there are no questions or comments, I move approval of resolution number 45021.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 45021 has been adopted. Resolution number 45121. Resolution authorizing the county administrator to execute a modification to the contract agreement with Mouser Masonry Incorporated to perform additional detention masonry activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Correction Center in the amount of the contract not to exceed $50,000, and authorizing the county administrator to approve and execute additional minor modifications to the contract agreement for a revised amount of $2,375,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. I do apologize. I was having some technical difficulties, so hopefully I won't be knocked off. In December of 2018, Mouser Masonry Incorporated was awarded a contract agreement to perform detention masonry activities associated with the construction of the new Franklin County Correction Center. The resolution authorizes a modification to the contract agreement with Mouser to provide an owner-directed allowance for additional detention masonry activities associated with the construction of the new correction center, such as refining block, piping, walls, caulking, etc. Any unused funds will be returned to the county. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
Thank you. If there are no questions or comments, I move approval of resolution number 45121.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 45121 has been adopted. Resolution number 45221. Resolution authorizing the county administrator to execute a contract agreement with Weifenbach Marble and Tile Company to perform flooring activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Correction Center continuation phase 2A in the amount of $731,750.
This resolution awards a contract to Weifenbach Marble and Tile Company to perform flooring activities such as tile, resilient flooring, carpet for the continuation phase. Weifenbach is an established Ohio firm and is a signatory to Carpenters Local 200 and Bricklayers Local 55 in Columbus. Weifenbach has committed to 12%, approximately 88,000 diversity participation from one material supplier on its SCBE utilization plan. 4 jobs are anticipated to be created as part of this contract at peak. Weifenbach Marble and Tile Company has demonstrated it has the capacity, experience, and ability to complete the required work. The project owner's representative, Pizzuti Solutions, and the project construction manager, Gilbane Smoot, are supportive of this contract. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this contract agreement.
There are no questions or comments. I move approval of Resolution 45221.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 45221 has been adopted.
Thank you,
Resolution number-
Commissioners.
Thanks, Vivian. Resolution number 45321, resolution authorizing a transfer of appropriation for the addition of 5 full-time custodial worker positions.
Public Facilities Management is responsible for the facility needs of the various agencies and offices of Franklin County. This resolution authorizes a transfer of appropriations to support the addition of 5 additional custodial workers to ensure operational coverage and to allow for the continuation of COVID-19 enhanced cleaning and sanitizing protocols in county facilities for the long term. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution. Sorry, Commissioners.
I do have a question. Administrator Wilson, will we be using ARP funds to fund these positions, at least initially? Because I know it seems that they would qualify for those funds.
Right now, we're President Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Tyler Lee. Right now, we're using contingency funding, but we have the flexibility built into the plan that we will be presenting to charge these positions back.
That's basically what I was asking. That's perfect. Okay. And then Director Reardon, have you hired these people yet?
We have been, they are in process.
Okay. Okay, great.
Seeing no other questions or comments, I move approval of Resolution number 45321.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 45321 has been adopted.
Great, thank you. Next is
Thank you,
purchasing.
Commissioners.
Resolution number 45421, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $3,074,453.34.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tracy Matthew, Assistant Director of Purchasing. And joining me this morning is Marlise Wicker, Franklin County's Economic Equity Administrator in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Commissioners, our resolution this week requests your approval of 89 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. And Marlise will take you through the SCBE POs.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. This week we have for your consideration 7 out of 22 eligible purchase orders that are being presented to 3 women business enterprise, 1 minority business enterprise, 3 small and emerging business enterprise, and 1 disadvantaged business enterprise, totaling $46,105.39, which equates to 32% of the eligible purchase value and 28% of the eligible PO dollar value. The Franklin County agencies have increased their supplier diversities of goods and services within Franklin County. Public Facilities Management, the Sheriff's Office, the Law Library, General Services, Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Pending any questions? Go right ahead, Tracy, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Marlise.
Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there's no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 45421.
Second, I'm sorry, I was into that, Britt.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee. Commissioner, could you say it just one more time? You kind of cut out.
I abstain.
Thank you. Resolution number 45421 has been adopted with Commissioner Tyler Lee's noted abstention.
Great, thank you. I
Thank
think,
you.
is the sheriff's office on now? Somebody from the sheriff on? Great, there's Dave.
Good morning, Commissioner. I'm here.
Let's go back to the sheriff's resolution.
Resolution number 43921, resolution authorizing a general fund supplemental appropriation related to a funding allocation from the Ohio Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, representing Sheriff Dallas Baldwin. The resolution for your consideration authorizes an appropriation of $45,505. It's funds that are going to be given to us from the Ohio ICAC Task Force. It's administered by the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office, and these funds will be utilized to continue service agreements with two important software packages that we utilize for our Internet Crimes Against Children investigations. Pending any questions, I would ask your approval of this resolution.
I move approval of resolution number 43921.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 43921 has been adopted.
Thank
Great,
you.
thank you. Dean, are there any generalizations?
Yes, Commissioner, I have two from our friends at Economic Development and Planning. Case number ANX-21-21, an expedited type 2 annexation petition. ANX-21-21 was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on May 28, 2021. The petition is requesting to annex 0.46 acres more or less from Jackson Township to the city of Grove City. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on June 29, 2021. Site 2155 White Road, PID number 160-002227. And second, case number ANX-2221, an expedited type 2 annexation petition. ANX-22-21 was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on May 28, 2021. The petition is requesting to annex 0.551 acres more or less from Jackson Township to the city of Grove City. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on June 29, 2021. Site 2277 White Road, PID number 160-001733.
Great, thank you. I just want to take a personal point of privilege to recognize the prosecutor. Tyak is on today and wanted to welcome him to our meeting today. I know he was in and out, but he was on, and there's Janine Hummer. But we saw the prosecutor himself on earlier, and I just wanted to acknowledge his attendance today. So thanks so much for being here, Prosecutor Tyak.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yep. Thank you. Okay, so next we have the Board of Commissioners section. I think we've got to do our ditch petition hearing. So Dean, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Under the Board of Commissioners, resolution number 45521, resolution considering the initial feasibility of the improvement of the Bando Ditch watershed, Brown Township, Franklin County, Ohio. I would kindly ask for the members of the engineer's office that are going to speak to please come on camera so that you can take the oath. Mr. Ramsey and Mr. Engineer, is it just the two of you this morning, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
I do.
Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Engineer?
All right, thank you all very much. Again, my name is Cornell Robertson, Franklin County Engineer and Franklin County Drainage Engineer. Commissioners, this public hearing is for the Bando County Ditch Petition in the west part of the county in Brown Township, upstream of Big Darby Creek. The Bando Ditch watershed is generally bounded by Amity Road to the west, Patterson Road to the north, and Morris Road to the south. Frank Bando filed the single county ditch petition on February 24th of 2021 to improve and maintain drainage in the Bando Ditch watershed. However, it should be noted that the original ditch petitions for this watershed were established 151 years ago in 1870. Therefore, it's not surprising that this drainage system is in need of maintenance to reestablish drainage for the property owners. Such drainage maintenance will not only improve the ability to farm their land, but will also improve the safety and operation of the property owners' drinking water wells and on-site septic systems, which will benefit all watersheds downstream. To date, we have held 3 public meetings on this drainage maintenance project and received comments from the public, interested parties, and other public agencies. Our team has completed a preliminary report summarizing existing conditions, cost estimate, and feasibility. President Boyce, at this time, if okay with you, I would like to turn the floor over to our riparian and environmental engineer, Jim Ramsey, to present additional information in that preliminary report.
Thank you. Mr. Ramsey.
Thank you, Commissioner Boyce. As has been mentioned, the Bando Ditch petition is before us now, and we are going to just take a brief amount of time to recap the petition process, look at the report that we submitted to you, and then open up for questions and public comments. Under Ohio Revised Code 6131, the single county drainage improvement law, a petition has been filed on February 24th, 2021. The view was held May 5th, and then today we are at the first hearing. You can see if you approve or advance the petition after this, we will then have a final hearing followed by an appeal period, bidding, construction, and levying of assessments on property owners to pay for the construction cost and the maintenance cost. In addition to that, we held additional public information meetings prior to the view and prior to the first hearing, and those were held in advance of those meetings to show residents what we intended to present and also to give them a little bit less formal environment to ask questions and learn about the process that we would be going through. In the preliminary report, we will outline the process, or what the report that's been given to you outlines the process, talks about existing conditions, gives a cost estimate, our comments on feasibility, our opinion of benefits versus cost, and factors favorable and unfavorable, and ultimately our conclusion and recommendation. As you saw at the view, the existing petition system out there is not functioning well. It has been mentioned that there were 2 petitions out there constructed in the 1870s, the Burt Ditch petition and the Patterson Ditch petition. The 1870s was some of the earlier petitions in Franklin County, but the maintenance provision in the petition law didn't come in until the 1950s, so they have not been maintained aside from individual property owners doing what they can. So that's been inconsistent, and as the land use has changed, there's undoubtedly been damage to them, and they are continuing to deteriorate. They're currently providing inadequate drainage for homes and the home sewage treatment systems associated with those homes, and the surface ponding is evident. These are some pictures that we, from videos that we looked at during the view. These videos we learned were taken during, right after very heavy rain events, but we have lots of reports from property owners that flooding, wet conditions, standing water are very common in the watershed. I would say that the nature of these, when you're looking at these pictures, and the problems in the ponded water is so broad and so diverse to this watershed, that it's a very hard project to estimate. And the diverse interests, as was mentioned, it drains through the metro parks and into Big Darby Creek. And so we really had to, for our construction estimate, kind of try and think of everything that might come up and put in there to deal with all the drainage problems. To do that, we ultimately will try to get to the most efficient solution that addresses all the concerns in there. Having said all that, including survey design, administration, construction, contingency, and the first year of maintenance, our estimate comes in at $3,057,000. As I alluded to there earlier, This is all very preliminary, made in the absence of any detailed survey or investigation. Just the way the process works, we can't spend significant money doing this until after you approve us to do so at this hearing or after this hearing. I would note that in the report that we provided to you, when I transferred costs from the spreadsheet that we used for the estimate to the report, I did make a typo which carried through, and we're going to have to correct that report. The numbers that you're seeing here are the correct numbers. Our comments on the feasibility. Before draining into Big Darby, the watershed area is generally agricultural or rural residential, consisting of large lots or homes, single-family homes on large lots, and some agricultural land, and of course roadways associated to serve all of that. To our knowledge, all of the homes in the watershed have home sewage treatment systems and individual water wells for their water. It is the opinion of our office that there is sufficient space and conditions are available to design and construct an improvement suitable to serve the needs of the petitioners, while balancing the significant environmental considerations. That is important here. We've not had a petition come through that's had such environmental considerations. So we have reached out in advance to Metro Parks, Farm Bureau, Ohio Scenic Rivers, Ohio DNR Scenic Rivers, and Franklin Soil and Water Conservation District and the Ohio EPA. And of course, Brown Township and the Franklin County Engineers Office are also stakeholders because they each maintain roads in this watershed. If you ultimately vote to approve us to move forward into design, it will be a fairly lengthy design process because we'll allow time to work with and communicate with all the stakeholders. Typically, when you consider benefits versus cost for a petition, you're often weighted heavily towards the agricultural concerns, and that is a concern here. There are some agricultural fields, but when it really comes to the benefit and putting that into dollars, we believe that the majority of that is going to be in the increased value of residential properties, because these properties with there are a lot of nice homes out there, and these properties with good drainage are going to be significantly more valuable than they are with bad drainage. And the other concern is that so many of them have home sewage treatment systems. The Franklin County Public Health, and just a quick preliminary search, found records for 101 home sewage treatment systems in parcels connected to the Bando Ditch watershed. And as you know, we also have a permit through the EPA for Franklin County where we manage a municipal separate storm sewer system. And our primary pollutant of concern is from home sewage treatment systems, and we are working through that program to address those. Factors favorable, obviously improved surface and subsurface drainage in the water, reduction of pond water, and improved drainage components for household sewage treatment systems and residential drainage systems, which increases property value. The current system is just already very deteriorated and continues to deteriorate. We anticipate some increased crop yields, and ultimately being able to put this system under an annual inspection and maintenance program and keep it maintained instead of creating a system, building it, letting it deteriorate, and then having to rebuild it. The project is consistent with our other initiatives to satisfy Clean Water Act requirements through our MS4 program. And also, this project could offer improved drainage along Morris Road and Patterson Road. Unfavorables obviously would be if we build it, would be a temporary land use disruption during construction, and the cost of construction and maintenance may be a burden to some landowners. Our approval recommendation is approval for the project. We do think that it is makes sense to advance this into the design phase and allow us to get in and engage all the different entities that have interest here, but most importantly, the property owners who will ultimately pay for that. We would, if you ultimately approve us to move into the design process, we will work with all of them. We will have to balance what the property owners have petitioned for and what the property owners should have to pay for with the environmental concerns and what folks would like to see to protect the Big Darby Creek. As you know, you've received written comments already from some entities that Clerk Hendon-Lang has provided to you. And at this time, if anyone has comments or questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Great, thanks, Jim.
Commissioners, if I may, I have received two properly filed speaker request slips with my office. I would kindly ask that we turn to those individuals first with your permission.
Yes, let's proceed that way.
So first up, I have John Hummel. Mr. Hummel, are you on the line, sir?
Yes, I'm on the line. Can everybody hear me?
I can.
Okay.
Mr. Hummel,
go ahead.
before proceeding, sir, I need to administer the oath. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
And if you could state your full name and address, please.
My full name is John M. Hummel, and my address is 9415 Bowen Road, Canal, Winchester, Ohio.
Thank you, sir.
I am with the Franklin County Farm Bureau, and obviously with some agriculture ties to this drainage project, we are strongly supporting this project to move forward. We have talked to several of the farmers in the area and obviously looked at some of the reports, and main concern would be the agriculture side of it, but also the Farm Bureau is a big advocate for healthy, clean water, as we've done many things with the governor and the H2 Ohio program and everything. And so this, what Jim Ramsey was talking about with the sewage treatment systems and wells and whatnot is something else we're standing behind. So I just wanted to state, as far as on behalf of the Franklin County Farm Bureau, we are strongly supporting, looking for your support, commissioners, in this project.
Thank you, Mr.
That's it for
Hummel.
me.
Thank you, sir. Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Hummel?
No, not here.
Okay, next. Anthony Sasson. Anthony, are you on the line?
I am.
Before proceeding, Mr. Sasson, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
And if you could state your full name and address, please.
Anthony M. Sasson, 8351 Patterson Road, Hilliard.
Thank you, sir. Please proceed.
President Boyce and commissioners, thank you. My name is Anthony Sasson. I'm representing the Darby Creek Association, a volunteer-based nonprofit organization that was established in 1972 to protect Big Darby Creek and its outstanding environmental quality. I am speaking regarding Resolution 455-21, which is considering the initial feasibility of the improvement of the Bando Ditch watershed in Brown Township. John Tetzloff of the Darby Creek Association provided previous comments to the commissioners on May 19th. I offer the following points. Big Darby Creek is a national scenic river because of its outstanding environmental quality. But these qualities are under great stress for multiple reasons, like development and resultant alteration of flow of the creek and its tributaries, as well as pollution by associated materials such as road salt, fertilizers, and sewage. While it has been a very high quality, Big Darby has seen these multiple stresses result in reductions and losses of rare and sensitive aquatic species in the creek, specifically mussels listed by the federal government as threatened and endangered. Some species appear to be disappearing from Big Darby Creek. These mussels are in the area of Big Darby Creek where Bando Ditch would discharge water. This proposal is a major alteration of the amount of water to be sent to Big Darby Creek. Much more water will be sent from residential areas with associated pollutants. This alteration in water discharge to Big Darby is the equivalent of a large development being sited in the watershed. Ohio EPA has based the Big Darby watershed stormwater permit on the rate of runoff from artificially drained areas such as is proposed for this project. And extensive Ohio EPA stream data demonstrate impacts from such hydrologic alterations. This project should not be undertaken without extensive analysis of the impacts to the creek, as well as adequate mitigation measures demonstrated to lessen impacts. DCA supports the ODNR Scenic Rivers letter to President Boyce and the commissioners dated June 3rd. We oppose any route using the abandoned 1870 Patterson ditch, which would remove mature trees and degrade the quality of the large mature woods south of Patterson Road. Cost, based on a rough average per home septic system in the area, are near $30,000 per household based on the drainage engineer's initial estimate. We question the benefit from these costs given the potential impacts to Big Darby Creek and the limited analysis conducted to calculate benefits. Thank you for your attention to these comments.
Thank you, Mr. Sassy. Commissioners, those are the only two filed speaker request slips with my office. I'd leave it to your discretion whether or not to open it up to further comment.
Absolutely. Are there any other people on the line today that would wish to speak to the resolution?
Am I allowed to speak?
You have to identify yourself, and Dean, what's the process that you want to accept a online speaker?
Thank you. Am I hearing from a Jeremy May? Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. May, if you can, I'll administer the oath, and if you could just state your name, then an address, you could proceed after that.
Okay.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
If you could state your name and address then.
Jeremy May, 8159 Morris Road. There's a lot of problems that we have with the water that happens right after the ground has been frozen, and the drainage, which was the one YouTube drone picture from like 5 years ago. A lot of us have taken care of our own drainage issues by, taking care of the grass that used to be farm fields. And I've spoke to a lot of other people. There's only a few houses that we have observed have had issues where they've created their driveways and they're blocking the water passages to the ditch line. And the ditch that's open in front of my property, it goes into a smaller tunnel under the road. So we're just having where, you have like 2 feet of water going into a 1 foot pipe. So there's the slowing there, but a lot of us are just looking. I don't think the cost for this is going to be, over $30,000 per person over the next 15 years. That's a lot for, the amount of houses that they put into this area. So our concern is the cost, and why is this a homeowner's cost and not a township cost? So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. May. I defer to the engineer or to Mr. Ramsey to kind of respond to the questions, but if there are additional speakers, we'll take them as well, but I need to give an opportunity for the engineer to respond.
Jim Ramsey, if you would, please.
Sure. Cost is certainly a concern. A lot of our estimate, as I said, is preliminary and it's hard to judge, and we'll certainly try to, if the decision is made to advance this design, we'll try to design the most cost-effective project that we can. I do share concerns, and some of what is in my estimate is additional cost related to the addressing the environmental issues, and how that gets funded is a concern. And as it's property owners will ultimately be paying for this as opposed to a typical public works project. So I think it's something that we have to deal with very carefully, and it is certainly a concern. Commissioners, if you choose to advance this into the design, when we get to the final hearing, we will also propose an assessment schedule to you that would show then clearly what the final cost of the project is, and what the assessment would be to each property owner, each entity, including the county engineer in Brown Township. and you'll be able to vote to approve or deny the project based on all the information then at that time.
Mr. Ramsey, what kind of, so what one is that basically dictated by the Ohio Revised Codes of state law?
Yes, Commissioner.
Construction. Yeah, so I'd want to Mr. May's question, that's a question of our General Assembly Ohio legislature that sort of drives that we're just following the law. The other thing is what are our options, Mr. Ramsey, in terms of duration? Obviously the longer over time we can split the payments up, the lesser of the impact to the homeowners that are affected by it. So what are our options there?
The maximum time frame that Mr. May cited, 15 years, is the maximum time that you're allowed to stretch that over.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be what we will recommend. That question came up during one of our public hearings.
Mm-hmm.
Told people to do that.
Okay,
Commissioner Boyce, if I may.
please proceed, Commissioner Tyler Lee.
Thank you. Just a point of clarification, Mr. Ramsey, did I hear you say that we could advance the design today, and once that's completed, we could potentially not move the project forward, so there'd be another decision point after today that would determine the ultimate direction the project goes?
Yes, Commissioner Tyler Lee, that is exactly right. And you'll have much better information than at the final hearing. It's just the way the process is set up. We're to do our best job to estimate it, but on this particular project, it is very hard to do that estimate up front. And so I was very conservative, meaning that I didn't want to come in with a too low of an estimate. I was trying to make sure I covered enough for everything that might be needed.
Sure. And then my second question is, are there any resources available for property owners who may not have the ability to pay?
I am not aware of resources like that for property owners who may not have the ability to pay. However, one of the letters that was sent in advance mentioned that the H2 Ohio funding that has been available in the Lake Erie watershed in 2021 will be coming available in the Ohio River watershed, which that was the ODNR National Scenic Rivers letter, and she offered to even help apply for grants if that funding becomes available for that, if we could apply that to this project. I haven't presented it, but I do know that Brown Township is also working with our office to try and do an OPWC funding grant for the road drainage on their road. And we don't know, we've never done it before, but if we have an opportunity to combine other funding with this, we certainly are going to try to do that. It's just that it's too unknown to really include in my estimate.
Thank you.
Commissioners, if I may, I just want to offer a quick point of clarification also. The resolution before you is simply to bring the information forward, depending on which direction you choose to go, whether you'd like more information or not. A second resolution would come before the board indicating such. So this resolution is simply the method in which the engineer's office was able to present this information. Should you choose to proceed, a resolution would be presented next week or the week after that would actually initiate that action.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Does that conclude all of our speakers for the day? Are there any more speakers? Seeing that there are none, what is our next step, Clerk Hinderling?
Commissioners, the engineer's office does need an indication as to whether or not you would like a resolution presented to the board indicating that you'd like additional information, or if you'd like a resolution dismissing the Bando Ditch petition. They just need some sort of direction at this point.
It's not a vote, just a sort of direction. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll go first and say that, I think anytime you have flooding that affects regionally a neighborhood or a community, it's important that we do everything we can to mitigate that impact. The cost of the damage can be greater, especially over time. And it always concerns me to see that kind of aerial where a lot of land is underground. And so my personal perspective is more information is important. I am concerned about the process in terms of the cost and impact to homeowners. It's something that over time is probably, I don't know, my 5th or 6th ditch hearing. And it always seems to be an issue. And that may be something that we need to begin to push in our General Assembly for some changes there. But for now, this is the process, and I'd be supportive of moving to the next phase.
I concur with President Boyce's comments.
Yeah. You guys know, I grew up there, right? I grew up on Morse Road. We moved out there in 1975 when I was in junior high, and so this is an issue that's obviously I have strong interest in, and lived out there. My parents sold their house in 2001, and so the cost to the residents is a great concern, because while I know that there are many wonderful, beautiful homes out there, and some residents may have an ability to afford this, other residents out there simply don't. And so I'd like to, I certainly want to advance this, but I certainly want to I want to make sure that we're taking a look at the cost and who's going to bear the brunt of that cost, how much.
With that, Mr. Engineer, does that give you and your office enough information to move forward, sir?
Yes, absolutely. I thank you all for your time today. Thank the constituents for providing comment, and we are committed to continue working on this project in that fashion, balancing the needs of the property owners and the environmental impacts as well, and costs, of course. So appreciate the opportunity to proceed with this project. We'll work with you, Clerk Hendon Lang, on the resolution as such, and we will present that, as you stated, at the next general session or the one after that. So thank you all very much. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. And commissioners, before we conclude, I'm sorry, I just realized, and I apologize, although somewhat moot, we actually did not move the resolution, so I do need a vote if possible.
I move approval of resolution 45521.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Thank you, commissioners. The resolution has been adopted, and I will work with the engineer to present a properly addressed resolution at the next available session.
Great, thank you. That concludes our general business for today. Are there any questions from members of the media?
None from me, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Any other questions from members of the media? Okay, that concludes our meeting. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.